Hello there! And we're here! Welcome to Bead with me. I'm Kay, your host from Stars Beads, and it is a Movin' Tuesday. How are you guys doing? I hope that this week is probably a little bit better than last week. It kind of seemed like things were just rough last week for people, and I feel so bad. So hopefully each afternoon you can join me and do a little bit of creating. And you know, I was working it today. You know, I couldn't help it. I thought I only had kind of one person I was going to be working with today, and literally people just kept entering into the bead shop because it seems like COVID is feeling like it's hitting pretty hard right now, and that we are really feeling the bug. And you know what? It's not going to get any better come winter season. So make sure you guys get out. You know, this is a good time to be in. It's the heat of the day, and a good beading time. So let me see how everyone's doing. If you guys are new to the show, please say hello. Tell me where you guys are coming in from. Let me know what you guys like to play with, because this show is made for you, okay? We like to do whatever it is you guys like to do. So the latest craze, as we all are wearing masks, is making a new mask holder, little lanyard. So this is what we were making yesterday. We've been playing around with all these beautiful Czech glass beads. So here, and you know what? I decided I want to play with some more glass, because I think we're going to continue on glass for Friday. They're going to be all different types of glass though, okay? And I think I'm going to throw in a little bit of a Stars clasp line for this Friday as well. So I'm getting some things together. We're waiting for maybe a few boxes I'm hoping to arrive. So if they don't get here in time, then we'll probably have to pop it on to next week. But you know, there's never a shortage of beads, that's for sure. So you know, we have done, let's see, we've done necklaces, we've done waistlets, we've done earrings, we've done bracelets, we've done anklets even. And you know what? One of the things we haven't covered are the rings. So today, I kind of went ringless because I thought maybe we could make up some rings today. Some nice simple ones. You know, we were having all of these beautiful little glass beads out. And so I thought I'd show you maybe two simple, really easy, so you can throw a few rings together. Okay, what do you guys think? Can't get on, must be my internet connection. So let me say hi. Hey Paula, hey Donna. I don't know, I see that you're on. Maybe it takes a second sometimes, and it didn't help because I was like, you'd think that I was on daylight savings time. I kind of wish we were, but we're not. What are you gonna do? And it takes time for it to all bling, so we're gonna get started. So today we've covered it all, and I went ringless today because we're gonna see if we can wrap up some rings. I made some here, some quick ones, and then oh, there it is. I couldn't find it. But you know, quick little wire rings that are simple. These are going to be two simple ideas that you can throw together really quickly with a couple of beads, and certainly you can add extra stuff on there too. I'm just going to show you some quick and easies, and then we can start working from there, because that's what you need, is kind of start at the basics, because I know it can be scary. We look at these beautiful rings and we're like, oh my gosh, that's like so gorgeous. I just want to make something simple, right? And you know, I'm into quick, simple, easy projects. So let's make a couple rings. I'm going to switch this guy around, and so we can take a look at what we are playing with. And I've got myself on a stand today because we're going to see if that helps. But look at these. So I was messing around with some of these here. It's looking a little funny here. All right. So you know, we've been playing around with these beads, and so I was just kind of taking a look at what we could use and play with, right? Here, I'll put them in here so they're not rolling all crazy around the place. So I'm going to go over kind of two very simple style rings that you can make up really easily, because it looked like there was some interest in making rings. So one of the things you need today, we're gonna kind of use your basic things other than the new tool is gonna be a ring mandrel, okay? So there's different styles. This one is stair-stepped. I don't know if you can see that it has the sizes on there so you can gauge the size. Sizing is usually the hardest thing, you know, certain styles, and depending on how you hold it and stuff, just the better you get at it, you'll get better with the sizing, okay? But most of the time it's probably easier to make it a little bit bigger, okay, and then tighten it as you go, okay? And but right now I am using a 20 gauge today because a lot of the beads that we end up with are, you know, will fit a 20 gauge. Okay, you certainly can do thicker. Mostly recommended is a 16 or an 18 gauge, but you know, a lot of the beads that I'm using don't normally fit that, so. Mine's a JMU Dukes. That's what I'm wearing on my mask. Is that what you're talking about, Pam? Here, I got JMU. All right, so first thing, I think I'm going to use maybe this green bead, okay? And we'll do something, you know, maybe we'll just do something simple like this, okay? Well, I guess I'll start like this. This is an easy one to do, okay? So we're gonna start off with, I'm using 20 gauge, okay? You could certainly use 18. Dead soft is gonna be a lot easier to use. I'm going with about 1.5 feet here. I would much rather have longer wire just because I'm not quite sure what I'll do with, you know, maybe the swirls or something like that, okay? But first thing we're gonna do here is, we're making rings today, you guys, so anybody who's just joining us, I thought we'd play with some rings. We've covered the ears, we've covered the neck, we've covered the wrists, we've covered the ankles, you know, but we haven't covered the rings, and you know how much I like rings. So I thought we'd play around with some today. So I've got about 1.5 feet of 20 gauge wire here. I'm just playing around with copper. That's what I had sitting here, okay? And I'm putting it into the center of the wire, okay? And I'm gonna put it onto my ring mandrel. And I don't know if you have seen some ones with the little divots in there, kind of like a V. Well, that's helpful when you have a bead, okay? But in this case, I just don't have one. So we're just going to use it as a good base. And so I'm gonna pretty much take this wire here, and I think I might switch this around so that you guys can see it a little bit easier. Okay, so I've got my ring mandrel, okay, and literally going to wrap the wire around once along the top and then once along the bottom, okay? So you kind of see how that works. Okay, right now it's crazy and loose, and that's just gonna be how it goes, all right? Now we're gonna kind of get everything settled here, because that's really all the start. And then I'll flip the screen around and let's take a look at what we've got here, okay? So I've just wrapped it around and had my bead sitting up on top here. Got a little crazy, so. And you can always, and it's okay, because you can put it right back into the ring mandrel, but essentially we wanted to go around the top and then around the bottom, okay, is our goal. And like I said, because I don't have a divot in here, we're just gonna have to finagle just a little bit as we get started here, okay? But the first trick is, and you can see that was sitting up a little far, so I might do that again. And take it off real well. Let me just try that again. If you have a wire straightener, so if you are dealing with, you know, not a perfect wire, this is a wire straightener, okay? And so when you start off with the wire, when you take it even off the spool, it's sometimes nice to go ahead and straighten this wire out. That way then it hardens it a little bit, but then, because I got a little crazy on there, I was trying to get you a good view and then got myself all crunked up here. So let me try that again. Okay, I'm going through the center. Let me see if I can do it on screen this time. Maybe it'll be easier. Okay, so I'm kind of bending this around here, coming around. I'm not tall enough to come around here, but I'm trying to hold this bead in. And you see one side is going to wrap almost along the top here. Okay, and I'm doing around. You can see I'm trying to aim around a 6. Okay, so then we have one along the top. Okay, and we're gonna hold this round bead. Maybe I should have done a flat bead for the sample here, but there we go. Okay, holding it is always the hard stuff. Okay, so now here we go. Okay, and you can kind of see pretty much that's that's all you have to do. Okay, now we're gonna be tucking these wires in. So thanks Julie, maybe you need some of this mermaid charade. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna hold this tight. And what I'm gonna do is actually I'm gonna take this top one and I'm gonna bend this right here, okay? I'm gonna stick this under and I'm gonna kind of bend it right there because I wanna kind of have an edge here, and then I'm gonna do the same thing on this side and I'm gonna bend it up here, okay? That's gonna help before I slide it off of the mandrel here, okay? So you can kind of see where each of the edge of your round bead is gonna be, okay? So that way then I can hold this fairly tight, and it's already gotten started. You could certainly use pliers to do that too, but it's a lot easier, I think, just to kind of let it free flow. And you can see I'm holding these base wires, and it's okay if they are not perfect, if you get them all mangled and stuff. It's not a perfect ring, because we're gonna put it right back on the ring mandrel once we're done. Okay, so you see how this one is right on top. Let me see if I think it's going in a little funny. Okay, so I'm gonna take this piece here and I'm literally gonna, like we wire wrap, right? So I'm gonna take this wire and I'm gonna go through here, okay? And I'm gonna pull this tight, okay? And it might seem all loose and it's all crazy, but you know, that's kind of the free form of wire working, and it's totally cool. Super easy, okay? So see, I'm pulling and taking your pliers to, let me grab, where are my chain is? Oh, there they go. Okay, you can pull your pliers so that you can pull this really snug. Okay, and what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to keep these parallel here as I'm doing that. Okay, and then using the chain nose, you can squeeze this a little bit. This wire's flexible. It gives you time to manipulate. Okay, and it's okay if these show, you know, that's part of the free form of handmade, right? Okay, and the goal is we're just literally just need to wrap that so it secures itself around, okay? And then I'm gonna do the same thing to this other side. And you know, you could swirl this around. I'm literally just doing the super simplest ring so that you could take one of those leftover random beads and make it into a nice little ring. Okay, so I'm gonna hook this. The most important thing about wire is if you want it to hold steady in a particular place, just you need to hold as close to your working point as possible. Okay, so here we go. There's kind of the base here. And you could tuck these under, maybe if I didn't want those showing. I totally didn't have to. I could probably pop it up here. Sorry, you guys. Thought I had that turned off. Okay. Okay. And then you're gonna wrap that, you can wrap that a couple times. Technically, you could wrap it down the whole band if you wanted for the look, okay? Like I said, I'm literally just doing the half to halves. I'm going to clip this with a little bit of a tail because I'm gonna tuck it under. Okay, so you'll see I have a tail on both sides. I'm gonna go ahead and cut both. Okay, and then you could take your chain nose or your flat nose, okay, and then you can bend this around. Okay, you see how we're tucking that in here? And you can squeeze this a little bit tighter just like this here, because you don't want any sharp edges showing on your ring here. But this is the simplest of rings that you can make. Okay, we're gonna tuck that under here. It's the same, and then I'm gonna kind of mash it just like this here. Super easy. And see, I know the ring isn't perfect here, but you can see there's the base and the top. And again, like I kind of pulled it, but you can certainly make it a lot prettier. I could have put beads on it. I could have done lots of different things, okay? But I was keeping it kind of simple. All right, and then I'm gonna put it back onto this mandrel here, okay? Kind of squeeze it down, okay? I see actually it twisted the wire here. It overlapped itself, okay? Okay, slide that back onto the mandrel. Okay, I could hammer it a little, I guess, if you wanted to, just a smidgen, okay, especially if you have the thicker stuff, okay? And I'm pushing it on there, you know, so that I can use the piece to kind of form the ring mandrel to form this perfect band. Look at that. I'm using a 20 gauge today, Julie, Generally, I would say most rings oftentimes are using 16 and 18 gauge. But you know, if you're not going to be all hard, you know, I mean, certainly you want to put it away, you know, this is going to be more bendy, okay? But there we go. There's one ring, okay? So that was the same way I did this one. Okay, so now we can start stacking even. All right, now that was one style of ring. What'd you guys think of that? Let me see some hearts. Did you guys like that wire ring? Nice and simple. Okay, now I'm gonna do a slightly different style design, and I'll show you how I made this one here. Okay, so I'm gonna grab another bead. Should I make another green one? Okay. All right, I'm gonna do a green one. I'm still using 20 gauge. I'm gonna use what I have here, which is like 1.5 feet left, I think. Let's see, about 1.5 feet. Yep, I have about 18 inches of wire for another one. Yeah, totally looks doable, right? I know oftentimes it seems scary on a lot of these things, but none of it's hard. It's just sitting down and trying it out. Okay, all right, we got another piece of wire here, you guys. And again, I know that this is probably longer than I need it to be, but I don't care. I just wanted to. All right, well, maybe I'll do this one with the same green bead, so then you can kind of see the difference of them. All right, so I'm gonna put this in here, and I'm gonna do the same thing. So I'm in the center, okay? But this time I'm gonna do this a little bit differently, okay? Are you guys watching? I'm going to push one side here. Okay, I'm gonna push the other side here. So this is how we started when we were doing a wire wrap pendant, actually. So this is gonna be similar in that effect, okay? But I'm going to take this and I'm gonna bring this around here, okay, so that this kind of meets up, so you can see. If you want more rounded bends, it's better to pull further on down the wire, okay? It makes that rounded bend versus if you want a tighter swirl or something, then you may hold a certain point and then be pushing a little bit closer, okay? But my goal is here right now is I'm just looking at just kind of doing this to even these out together. Okay, so this is kind of what we're looking at. Okay, now I'm going to take that mandrel again. I'm going to put it in, and you see this wire here. Okay, now I'm literally going to go around with both of those wires behind here. Okay, let me get a better angle here. Sit it over here. Okay, so here I just have the bead on top here. Okay, and I brought that wire around. Okay, but you're going to see it come around the top here. Okay, you can see how that came around. And then this is where you can size it. You can make it adjustable now. So this is where you can kind of decide on the size, okay? And then I'm gonna literally just wrap around the stone here. See that? Just like this, bringing it around here, okay? And then I want to probably change a little bit of the angle so that maybe this wire isn't sticking so far out right now, so that I can see more of the bead before I finish wrapping here, okay? And you can see it's coming around. I'm going to put it back on there now, so you can make sure you keep the integrity of that round. Okay, and this is where you could wire some more if you want it to be a little bit more like a bird's nest wrap is what they would call this. You could be spirally, you could add beads onto the wire here before you come around. Okay, I'm just sticking to simple wire rings, and then we can get crazy on another one, okay? So that way if you want this covered, okay? Now I am going to take this off. Okay, and now this is where it's just going to be just a fun wire job. Like I said, kind of like the bird's nest wrap. Okay, but you can see right here, I'm going to come back around to here, and this is where I'm going to tuck it in to the band. Okay, so once I've kind of gotten my wire looking design that I want, I'm going to literally just stick this right into here again. We're going to wrap both of those wires through. Okay, and it'll look way cleaner. You could do one at a time, but you'll want to probably try to keep those as parallel as you can. Just makes it look a little bit cleaner. Okay, but this will help secure it down to your ring here. Okay, and I'm using 20 gauge. Okay, and 20 gauge is still a little tough. Okay, so you may try it out with a 20 gauge before you move to thicker, right? Okay, so you can see I've come around that banding here, and here's another. I'm gonna just wrap a little bit more. Okay, but you could certainly, you know, I guess do a swirl with these, you know, because this is just all loose wire now. Okay, I'm gonna bring that, tighten it around a little bit. Okay, and I'm gonna cut this one, but I'm kind of thinking I could take this other one. Okay, we're gonna push that down. Okay, so that's what it would look like if I just stopped. Okay, but I was thinking that I might take this one here and do a little bit more decor with it. Okay, I'm just tightening these up so it looks a little bit cleaner right there. Okay, but you could certainly take this wire here, and I was thinking maybe you could do a spiral right here. So let me straighten that wire so I can start a spiral. We'll see. We can start like right here, or an S, whatever you want to do. You can do some sort of twirly doodad to be a little bit more decorative. Maybe I'm going to end with like a little heart there, something. Okay, so I'm just doing some little twirls. Okay, and then you can certainly then tuck that in too. But you can have a little extra, makes it look cool, right? And then we'll tuck that little wire under there too. Okay, now you can also, if you want to secure, you could certainly put a little E6000 and just cover in right there. But you know, this one has a hole, so you don't have to worry so much. Okay, and then you can kind of get your pieces all bent into place like you want. Okay. Okay, I'm going to do just a little wrap on this one so that that piece that I just made is going to be secure. And I ended up using almost all that 1.5 feet of wire. Okay, and go ahead and play, because wire is, you know, wire's cheap. Okay, so play around with it. Okay, don't be scared to try it, you know, make a mistake and, you know, see how wire flows. Okay, so I'm just tucking that little wire in. Can you guys see that? Okay, tucking all my wires down, and then I was kind of shifting this over for a nice little side piece. Dun 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 dun. And there's another ring. If you got it all mangled, you can certainly put it back onto the ring mandrel, kind of stretch it out to that's optimal size, roundness. Okay, and there we go. Just a sweet little simple ring. Okay, but kind of made differently. Okay. Here we go. Almost got all my fingers covered this round here. Oh, I made these ones big. Maybe I'll give these ones away. Okay, so you can have all sorts of different rings here. Who loves rings? Now you're gonna get to making them. Look at that, not bad. Rings, rings, rings. Rings and things, awesome. Now I don't have quite such a naked hand. You guys, that's totally fun. And you know, you could make these actually like little charms too, because remember how I like to wear them on my necklace? You could totally make these as cute little charms too and hang them off of whatever, okay? I guess you could do these as napkin holders too if you made them nice and big. Yes, and you're right. This same idea you can certainly do with buttons, so that's good thinking. When we do buttons, well, maybe we'll have to do some of the rings. We didn't get a chance to do that, but totally fun. Playing around some more. Maybe we'll do fancier rings on another episode. What a fun Tuesday. That was a little fun. I want to see, maybe we need to show some rings tomorrow. Should we change up like what's on your wrist? Because you know that's tomorrow. But we could change it up. We could do the things that we were doing this week. So show me those rings here tomorrow. Yeah, maybe we'll do rocket rings. I like it. All right, you guys, what a fun day. Thank you so much for joining me, and we'll be back again tomorrow to Working It Wednesday. Hopefully, I'm really trying harder to hit that 2 o'clock mark, but man, today slapped me in the face and turned me upside down and said, ah, but life happens. That's how we go. So look, hopefully you got the little bling. So don't forget, you guys, we've got Friday Night Live coming up. We're going to be doing some more glass, okay? I've got some other new things that will be coming in, as well as probably some more Czech glass, because you saw how much was on that wall, and we didn't even get through everything that I had from the last Friday. And I was actually thinking of crystals and stuff. So yeah, speaking of, we were getting new crystals into the house, so maybe we need to add crystals to the stash here for Friday. So but remember, I'm always doing giveaways all week, so in order to win those giveaways, you just gotta post your thing. So get to making some rings. I want you guys posting some rings, okay? Or Roy G. Biv. You know, I love all the things in colors, and maybe we'll be showing you off this Friday night. So thanks so much for joining me. We'll see you guys again tomorrow, and play for a whole nother day, right? Have a good one. Thank you.